A little bit of slow start both days. Come on pretty strong in the middle and then kind of fell flat. Yardage is a little bit weak still, and yesterday it didn't feel like it affected my shot much, but today it was hard not to let it be a little doubtful in my shot too. But tried to keep it in the 10 ring and not make any big mistakes and give myself a chance. So a little disappointed going into the shoot-off, sitting third, but I didn't come here for third, fourth, or fifth, so I'll see what I can do to make a charge.
I just couldn't get my shot going. Was hitting left, hitting right. Judged pretty good. That probably saved me, but only shot 2 up. Today got pretty aggressive, sort of either do or die, and I hit some long ones, hit some short ones, so ended up 12 up today. So pretty happy with that. We'll just see how it goes. I mean, I'm depending on where I start. I've been starting on the close targets, and that sort of messes me up to go for that 14, but I'm going to try to hit 512s and see what happens. So I definitely want to stay on the podium. That's definitely the goal. I don't want to fall below that. Don't want to get crazy out there, but we'll just do what we can.
A little bit harder getting going today. I don't know. Some tough leads, I guess. I mean, I just had a ton of them that were just barely out. So sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. So still a good solid score. I hung in there. I didn't make any real big major mistakes. Had one kiss out today again. Same thing we talked about yesterday, bad decision. And, you know, so overall, not a bad round, you know. Of course, we always think we can do a little bit better, but, you know, I got a 6-point lead going to the shoot-off, so I just got to go in there with a good game plan, get good numbers, shoot a couple 12s probably. You know, I'll try to 12 most of them, but 2 12s for sure, and that should hopefully cover me, and unless these guys get crazy and go 14 gunning. And then it's going to be game on, so we're just going to have to, you know, play it by ear.
All right, welcome back to the 2019 Mackenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour here at the Easton Southwest Shootout as we prepare for our next class.
Good afternoon and welcome to our second shoot-off this afternoon for the Easton Southwest Shootout here in Paris, Texas. It's time for the Senior Pro Division. In his very first pro shootdown from Milan, Michigan, shooting for Matthews with a 408 and 12 bonus rings, Dominic DeMichael. Also shooting from Matthews from Oklahoma with a 408 and 12 bonus rings, Art Brown. Your third place qualifier shooting for PSC from Keller, Texas, Michael Braden. And shooting for Hoyt from Boswell, Pennsylvania, your second place qualifier, a 414 with 13 bonus rings, Tony Tazza. And your number one qualifier, shooting for Botec from Provo, Utah, with a 420 and 14 bonus rings, Tim Gillingham.
Well, Tim Gillingham in his second performance here as a senior pro.
The
what are
guy
you smiling about?
He's just, Tim is such an awesome guy, and he's so passionate about archery. He's so knowledgeable about archery, and I knew he was going to be a force to be reckoned with when he went to the senior pro division, and here he is leading again, and he's a totally different type of aggressive, and he's going to be hard to handle.
Art Brown, if that name rings a bell for some of you shooters at home, ASA, of course, he is the Mackenzie target seller. This archer right here, Dominic DeMichael. And by the way, Chuck Cooley called it right. That's the way he pronounces his name. This is his very first pro shootdown, 8 years as a pro, and he is pretty excited as he should be.
Yeah, good for him.
Out of Milan, Michigan. So for DeMichael, he's in the construction business, and he's an avid fisher and hunter. As we have first arrows downrange, Tim Gillingham's on target number 1. he is going to start off with what looks like a very solid 12 for Tim Gillingham, who came in here.
He's a beast.
Yeah, as you can see with that 6-point lead, he is definitely causing some waves in the senior pro class. And
he wants to build his lead to where they don't have to shoot the 6th and final arrow. I know Tim's mentality, and he's going to try to get there.
Tony Tazza shoots a 10. Tony, of course, our champion from last year, and the only one who was on the podium here in Paris, Texas in 2018 to make this shoot down. Tazza, of course, our leader in the Shooter of the Year award after our second round at 834 over Michael Braden. Tim Gillingham didn't compete in the first round in this class. All right, so Michael Braden is going to come in with an 8. Art Brown's going to be our next scoring target.
Art's made his fair share of shoot downs. It's good to see him back in there.
He's got 2 Senior Pro Shooter of the Year titles, 7 ASA wins to his career.
That's a good shot.
11 years as a pro. Oklahoma resident. And the first timer, Dominic DeMichael.
He may have got a little bit excited there.
8. You know what, though? I mean, we saw it with Lindsey Christensen as well. I mean, you've got it. Here you are, center stage, probably shooting in a space that you've never shot before. I'm not talking about the building. I'm talking about the amount of people sitting behind you and the crowd, and you know all eyes are on you as well. So got to shake off those nerves.
He's in a lot better position than if he was leading his very first shoot down. It's hard to hang on to those leads when those guys are chasing you.
Michael Braden, your 2017 Senior Pro Shooter of the Year and Classic champion as well. This guy.
He's a beast too.
Tony Tazza. Tony out of Pennsylvania, 19 years as a pro. 2016 ASA Shooter of the Year, 2018 Shooter of the Year. Had 3 wins last year, on his way to Senior Pro Shooter of the Year. And then the new guy to the class.
Mr. Gillingham.
Floor fletching and everything, V-bar.
Oof. He won't be happy with that.
Tazza sends it to target number 3 on the Blesbach. So the first target we have, number 1, is the taper. Some people call it the tapier. That's going to be a 10 for Dominic DeMichael and Tim Gillingham.
Tim may have opened the door for some guys here.
Tim looking down, making some notes on the turkey. It's going to be a 5. That one will sting. Blesbach is going to be our next target. That's going to be Tony Tazza.
Yeah, that's going to change that gap quite a bit.
So 10 points. He had an opportunity there to, I mean, you don't know when you're in the middle of shooting as you shoot all at the same time. So it's not like, you know, Tim sent it and then Tony was like, oh, I've got to shoot this score.
Sure.
Go shoot a 14 and next thing you know, but still. It's now closed up to just a few points.
Michael Braden on that long javelina.
Yeah, we need the flashlight too. That's how backlit it is. And it's just kind of the same picture for the archers. Only one of the things that makes that target so fun to shoot are the markings. Like they at least break up that black with those white markings, and if you have good binos or it's a little bit closer and you can see something, it's kind of a fun target to shoot even though it's small. But with this backlighting here, it's making it really difficult to see it. And if you have glasses like, you know, like Sharon Wallace told us, and you get some glare from these overhead lights, it can make things very difficult.
Yeah, it's just a silhouette they're shooting at. They're aiming at a black pig. Good shot for Art there.
So Art Brown moving to 430.
I'm anxious to see what Tim does here. That 5 surprised him on that turkey. He's now going to the closest target. There's a good look at Tim. He made a good, clean shot, but yeah, he's like, oh man,
Oh,
that's
shoot.
low.
I think he said, oh, shoot.
And as aggressive as he is, he's moving to the closest target on the field now. I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to get some of those points back by shooting a 14 right here.
Gillingham middle. Looking right at the top middle of your screen is that Blessbach. That's the closest one. We don't know the exact distance yet, but we know that Tim gets a good sight picture on that one, and he gets a good yardage judge. Yeah, what will he do? Is he going to, you know, because Tim, in these situations, we've seen him go for the 14.
He's a different kind of aggressive than most of these guys are used to seeing out there. So
Dominic DeMichael.
good, strong shot.
Good shot. I didn't see Dominic call the upper, but if he did, but the first one to be scored is going to be Art Brown.
Looks to be just, there's two lines there. You can see the core line. That's where that insert slips in from the other side, but he was just below the actual 10 line for an 8.
So opportunity miss for Art. Now we're going to go Dominic DeMichael. And he did call the upper.
He's good for him. I believe that's 2 in a row.
And zero question whether that one was in. Great call, great shot. Now we're moving to our leader, Tim Gillingham, who's given some points back last time we were at the shooting line.
Doesn't look like he went for the 14.
No. And he called the upper 12, and he will get it.
He'll take those 2 bonus points.
Yep. And from our vantage point, he gave himself a little clap of the hand.
That's a good
Deserves
shot for
it.
Tim.
Now we're moving all the way across the facility to this target. We can see that's nice and snug in the 10. I just think at this distance and the way that this target is backlit, the size of this target, I think anyone who shoots a 10 is a great one.
Oh yeah, 10 points here. That's almost like shooting a 12, really, because we've seen multiple 5s.
To the Howling Wolf. That one looks a little low.
That's for Michael there, is it? Yeah, that's Michael Braden fletching job right there.
Just under it for an 8 for Michael Braden. Let's look at the board now after 3 rounds. Tim Gillingham, 449. Tony Tazza, 444. Currently tied at 438 are Art Brown and Dominic DeMichel, and at 431 is Michael Braden. We currently only have 1 shooter within 10 points of our lead, but both Art Brown and Dominic DeMichel are literally 1 12-ring away from joining that group within 10 points. Upper 12s for targets 4, Mr. Gillingham, and target 5 for Mr. Tazza, and target 3 for Mr. DeMichel. Upper 12s on 3, 4, and 5.
This is the time when you got to go for it.
Yeah, for sure. Tim's calling up, or he's going to get way up in that 10 ring and make sure he doesn't give anything back. But this is a typical Gillingham target. The longer and tougher they are, he's liable to 12 this thing. See if he can extend his lead.
Clock starts, 1 minute to shoot. Michael Braden settling into his anchor point.
He might go for a 14 here. Being in 5th place and running out of arrows, he did go for it.
And he got it.
Good
What a
shot,
shot.
Mike.
That was on the taper, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on the taper in position number 1. Art Brown still at full draw. Left part of your screen lets it fly. He was heading towards the turkey. Didn't look happy with that. All arrows done, time to score. First one is the taper. And a solid 14.
Good for him. That gets the crowd going.
Absolutely.
Look what a hole that left in that target.
First mark on that one.
Yep.
Next up on the turkey, Art Brown. Art currently tied with Dominic, has an 8 on the turkey. The dark target at that yardage with that backdrop has got to be fun. Next up with an upper 12 call, Dominic DeMichel in the Blesbach. Dominic currently was tied with Art Brown. A 10 or 12 here will move him into third place alone. And he's got a 12 for Dominic DeMichel. Moves him to 450. 4 points clear of Art, 5 points clear of Tony. Next up, I'm sorry, not Tony, but Michael. For Tim Gillingham, our leader, currently 4 points. 5 points ahead of Tony Tazza. For Tim.
That's shocking.
That's
a 5, though.
For Tim Gillingham.
Why is that a 5?
That was low,
Tim
below
has
the 8 line
2
there,
12s
so
and 2
he
5s. One more 5 and he has a full
unfortunately he
house.
was in the body of the target and not any of the scoring rings, so he takes a 5.
Anytime you hit at least foam, it's
And for
a minimum
Tony
5
Tazza
points,
on
right?
the Howling Wolf,
All right.
Tony can stay at 10 here. They're going to be tied going into the final arrow.
a 10 for Tony Tazza. And ladies and gentlemen, we now have a first place tie at 454.
So you saw that 6-point
454
lead evaporate for
between
Tim Gillingham.
and Tony Tazza, with Tim holding the bonus ring lead at 16 to 13. First place cannot be won by breaking a tie with bonus rings. Has to be by score. Dominic DeMichel is now climbed within 4 points of our leader. Art Brown is within 8 points, and Michael Braden is within 9 points. The entire field is now within 10 points of our leader. Anybody want to
Cannot
run the
understate the
12 call?
performance of
Tony
Dominic
Tazza
DeMichael
on
right
the
now.
Tim
His
Gillingham
first time in a pro shoot down in 8 years of trying. And he is putting himself in a position for a podium. And only 4 points behind.
Yeah, he shook the nerves off when he shot that first high 8 on that Howling Wolf, and I think he may have 10'd the taper. I said he 12'd it earlier, but I think he 10'd it, but I think he shot 2 back-to-back 12s there, and they've really tightened the gap up. This is a race now. It went from a runaway to a race.
Tazza. He sent that one. Upper 12. I didn't see Tony call it or hear it. Did you?
I didn't. He's been calling some uppers. I don't know if he did or if Mike acknowledged it. I don't know. He's glassing over to see what's going on with his competition now. Dominic moving around a little bit there. That's a tough target he's shooting at. Good
Good
shot.
solid 10.
Taper.
He did
And
call
the
it.
scorekeeper.
Definitely. With a target that close.
12 for Tony Tazza.
That's going to have Tim scratching his head.
Absolutely. So Tony's going to take the lead. He should have the lead by 2.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Braden. Coming off the
Michael Braden's our next score.
See if you keep dealing those numbers.
I'd say he went 14 hunting there. As wide right as that is, it's directly below the 14 ring.
10.
But still catches
Got
the
the 10.
Next up will be Art Brown. On the Blesbach, coming in 446. Art Brown. Let's hear it from the crowd on that one.
460.
That was pretty.
Great job.
They do him very well going in that final arrow. That's 6th arrow. For Dominic DeMichel.
Dominic DeMichael now. We go to him, who was in 3rd place.
After that 14
Might be
Art Brown,
tied for 3rd
his tenuous
with
lead
Brown.
may be slipping away here.
They were tied at 408 coming in, both Brown and DeMichael.
A 10 for Dominic
Yeah,
DeMichel.
so that's going to be
Also
460
shot
apiece.
And with an upper 12 call by Tim Gillingham.
It's really been back and
on the Howling
forth.
Wolf. A 12 here will make him our leader by bonus ring count going into the final arrow. A 10 here, he'll be in 2nd place behind Tony Tazza. That's a 10 for Tim Gillingham.
Tim called
And
a
let's look at
10
the
as
board
we
now,
saw
and
that
we've
one.
got
So now
everybody
Taz is
left
going to have a
to say.
2-point advantage as Tim's going to go to 446. Tony at
Our leader
66.
right now is Tony Tazza at
And then a couple of 460s with Michael Braden down at a 455.
Tim Gillingham at 464 and 16 bonus rings. At 460 and 14 bonus rings are
So
both
that's
Art Brown
going
and
to leave
Dominic
us.
DeMichel.
4 gentlemen in the final arrow, I believe.
Yeah. And legitimately all with a chance to win it.
Yeah.
thinking up scenarios in your head right now, aren't you, Darren?
I am, because Tim's a different kind of reckless and aggressive. Tony's super steady under pressure. Dominique and Art, they've got nothing to lose. They've got to shoot at 14s here to force the other guys to do something, or they got to make a mistake. If they lay up here, they don't have a chance to win. So Art and Dominique are going to go 14 hunting. I'd be shocked if Tim didn't. Depends on where they set it too. This target could be.
No. I thought he was going to drop it right there. Like, it's not too far forward.
Yeah, the 14's marked up good there. They're going to be able to see that in their scopes. You can see those 3 arrow holes surrounding that 14 up there, so they're going to have a good reference. But I know Art and Dominic will shoot 14s. Not sure what Tim will do, but I'm pretty sure he's aggressive enough. He's going to go for it too and force Tony to do something.
All right, if you're just joining us, this is the 2019 Easton Southwest Shootout here in Paris, Texas at Paris High School. And we are watching the senior pro class as we have 4 shooters for the 6th and final arrow, with Tony Tazza leading by 2 points over Tim Gillingham, which was a reverse of fates as Gillingham came into this shoot down 6 points ahead. And you have a tie between Art Brown and Dominic DeMichael at 460 apiece. It's anyone's guess on what strategy they're going to go for. For first-time shoot-down competitor Dominic DeMichael, is it enough for him just to be here, to stand on the podium in his first go at it? Is he going to get aggressive and just go for the win? It's so hard to we don't know about him, because in 8 years of being a pro, this is his first go at it.
I don't know where they're at on bonus rings between Art and Dominique, so that's going to dictate who's going to shoot first here. So if Dominique gets to see what Art does, then he's going to know what to shoot for, because if it was me, my first shoot down coming in 5th, I would be ecstatic to take a podium finish, and 3rd place would be just fine. So if he has to match Art here, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So, and it looks like it's going to be Dominic DeMichael who's going to take the first shot. And I can tell this because he's got his bonus hand, and he's making an adjustment on his sight right now after judging this target. No range finders allowed in this class. You got to look down range. When you have those nice, we're in a 50-yard practice facility, high school football facility. And some people thought, well, you have lines and you might be able to judge it, but ASA's purposely put this at an angle to try to throw some of these shooters off.
I'm guessing, I don't know, but knowing what I thought that javelina was, and that deer looks to be about 6 steps in front of that javelina, they're going to be shooting this deer in the low 40s, I'm going to guess.
Okay.
And those rings are small at that distance, so I don't anticipate this. This may not go past this arrow right here with the point spreads the way they are.
All right, the pride of Milan, Michigan, Dominic DeMichael. Gonna send an arrow down range to break this 3rd place tie, but will it be enough? Here we go. What a long hold.
He may have called that. Did he call that up at 12?
He certainly did.
He did.
Wow. So
Now,
Dominic DeMichael putting the pressure on Art Brown.
Art has to hit a bonus ring to tie him now.
I think Art is glassing the score. Here's the deal. If Art shoots a 12, they're still tied. 14 to take 3rd. Anything below a 12, and it's 4th place.
Oh, so they're still tied even on bonus rings? Is that what Mike said?
I believe so. Yeah, so we were trying to listen to what was being said. If they're tied on bonus rate, or no, I think Art's in.
1st place can't be broken by bonus rings. If they're tied across, they would shoot closest, one arrow closest to center to see who would take 3rd place, depending on what Tim and Tony do. So this is interesting. 12 to tie for a chance to shoot off for 3rd, or 14 to take 3rd outright.
No human being in this shoot down knows these targets better than this guy right here. He knows where to aim. He knows where to shoot. Can he do it?
He went for it.
He went for it, and just a bit outside.
That's actually a pretty good effort at that distance.
Mm-hmm. The crowd applauding the effort of both archers, Art Brown and Dominic DeMichael, as third place will be decided in his first time in a pro shoot down. Dominic DeMichael will be your third place finisher.
He's got to be ecstatic about that, moving from 5th to 3rd, his first shoot down, getting on the podium. Good for him.
Now,
I don't think Tim's made his mind up what he's going to do yet. I really don't. He was just beside himself as he was walking into that box. He's really looking here to make sure his number's right. But I honestly don't believe he knows if he's going to go for the gusto or if he's going to try to hit a 12 here and force Tony to tie him with a bonus ring or to beat him with a bonus ring. So what happens if Tim shoots a 5? He has a 469. He would fall to 3rd place.
Mm-hmm.
So he's guarding against dropping to 3rd place. He needs an 8 to tie. He would have Dominique beat on bonus rings, though.
When have you ever seen Tim Gillingham play it safe, though?
Never. Never.
1 minute clock has started. Light goes on.
He got a pretty determined look on his face.
I think he's going for the 14. He sends it, and he got it. Never play it safe, Gillingham.
He's a different kind of aggressive.
That's exactly the way he likes it. Exactly.
He is a different kind of aggressive. Tony has to shoot a 12 to tie him now. 14 to beat him, 12 to tie him.
Wow.
He's wiping the sweat off his brow.
That is a sigh of relief.
He's got to do a big fist pump here.
Yeah, there you go. That's classic Tim.
That's a mountain of a man right there.
He's not even 50 years old yet, by the way.
He has. Oh, he's not, is he?
No.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't turn 50 till June, but the rule in ASA is the year you turn. All right, but here's Tazza.
Big arrow for Tony.
A 12.
Oh my!
He went for the 14. Oh, I think he's got it.
I think he got it.
What a shot. Shocks the crowd, and he gets it. Tony Tazza with a come-from-behind victory. Doesn't settle for second or a tie. Goes for it, drills the 14, and takes home another title, his second in a row.
Wow.
Actually, third in a row. He won it in 17, 18, and now in 2019. So 3 in a row for Tony Tazza. What
That
great
gives me
shooting.
goosebumps.
Me
That's
too.
a good show right there.
Yep. Even the crowd was shocked. Shocked.
Good look at Tony right there, focusing good. Nice, strong shot. He's waiting for a reaction. Is it in?
He got a little grin.
Yeah,
a little bit of a grin.
And then when it's official, they throw that scorecard up. He gave a big fist pump. Good for Tony.
Something else.
Tony Tazza, what do we say about that? That's the way to end one.
I don't know what to say about that. I knew what I had to do. I mean, I did it at the last one, but that was for second. The pressure was on. I mean, the heat was up. But, I mean, that bow shoots so good. I mean, I just put it in the vicinity, and it smokes it. So, yeah, real happy. I want to say hi to my wife. She's always watching these things. I love you, babe.
Was there ever any doubt in your mind that you were going to go for 14 on that?
No, not on the last shot. I mean, I won it on the course. I mean, Tim had trouble on some of them long ones. My numbers were dead on, and I couldn't hit the 12s, but I was staying in the 10. So just stayed out of trouble and gave myself an opportunity and won it on the last one. So.
Well, Tony, congratulations. That was a great thing just to be a part of.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
From one gunslinger to another, great job, Tony Tazza. Let's go to break. When we come back, it's going to be the Open Pro class as we see Dan McCarthy square up against Levi Morgan and more. Stay tuned.
Vince Lombardi once said, winning is not a sometime thing, it's an all-time thing. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. I've learned in my career I'm only as good as the tools I use.
12 for Levi Morgan.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
Get in the red zone. Carbon Express's small diameter Maxima Red SD, taking big game hunting to an all-new level, making other competitors' single spine arrows obsolete. Patented tri-spine technology controls arrow flight, delivering better downrange energy and accuracy, all in a small diameter shaft. Think you're shooting the best hunting arrow in the game? Think again. Stay in the red zone. Assume nothing and shoot Carbon Express.
ASA in Paris, Texas is brought to you by Last Chance Archery and Gas Bowstrings.